Live from Washington, this is BBC News. The UN's humanitarian chief says Gaza has now become uninhabitable as Israel continues its bombardment of the Strip. US President Joe Biden marks the anniversary of January 6th on the campaign trail with a speech about democracy.
Whether democracy is still America's sacred cause is the most urgent question of our time. And it's what the 2024 election is all about.
A recent deal between Ethiopia and Somaliland sparks anger in Somalia. We ask what the agreement could mean for the Horn of Africa. Hello, I'm Katrina Perry. You're very welcome. We begin in Gaza, where Israel's war against Hamas continues to rage on amid renewed humanitarian concerns. The United Nations humanitarian chief, Martin Griffiths, said the Israeli bombardment of Gaza has rendered the territory uninhabitable. He says in a statement that Gaza has become a place of death and despair. Its people, he says, are witnessing daily threats to their very existence while the world watches on. To talk more about the situation on the ground, I spoke earlier to Mara Cronenfeld, Executive Director for UNRWA USA. Mara, thanks for joining us again. Can you tell us a little bit about the current situation in Gaza, such as your colleagues are seeing it? What are operations like there at the moment?
Gaza is a place right now, I have to say, of desperation and despair. There are tens of thousands of women and children, mostly who've been killed or injured. 70% of those killed and injured have been women and children. Families are sleeping in the streets in increasingly colder temperatures. We've seen the rain and the floods there. Areas where civilians have been told to relocate are coming under bombardment. The medical facilities in the Strip are under relentless attack, unfortunately, and we know that of the 36 hospitals there in Gaza, only 13 are operational. Most of those are in the south, and those hospitals in the south are seeing 3 times the number of patients that they're meant to see. And there, frankly, isn't enough medicine or equipment to even serve those patients who are coming into the hospitals in the south. And we know that only 6 of UNRWA's health centers are operable right now. That's in addition to the full population of 2.2 million people in Gaza facing famine as we speak.
Is there anywhere that your colleagues can tell people to go that is safe?
No, unfortunately, as the Israeli military has told the population to go south. Unfortunately, where they've been told to go has been bombarded. There frankly is no safe place in Gaza. Even UNRWA, UN installations flying the blue flag are not safe. There's been some 217 incidences of UNRWA premises being bombed or bombarded, and 62 of those are direct hits. Each of them are violations of international humanitarian law. We even have 22 instances of the Israeli military using UNRWA installations for military operations. And we've had some 319 internationally displaced people, local Palestinians, who have been killed while in UN installations. Unfortunately, even in the south, where some 1.1 million and a quarter Palestinians have fled, even there it is not safe. Again, there's just simply no safe place for civilians in Gaza right now.
We've seen an escalation in the West Bank recently as well. You have operations there. What can you tell us about the situation there?
Yes, we have seen significant death and injuries in the West Bank as well. My colleagues have said that the West Bank is at a boiling point, and we have seen detentions, unlawful detentions, and we are very concerned with also aggression on the part of settlers that has been reported as well.
Now, the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken is back in the region this week. What are you hoping for from his visit?
We at UNRWA, my colleagues at UNRWA, are calling for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire. That means that we need full-throated humanitarian access into Gaza. I know there was a UN resolution to this effect, but we have seen very little change on the ground. Kerem Shalom, the border that allows trucks into it, has opened, but it is still very difficult, if not sometimes impossible, for UNRWA to get those resources that come in, which are not enough by any means, but even to get those meager resources to those in need. That's because within the border in Rafah, those areas have been bombed. Our own staff at UNRWA has come under fire. We have lost many of our own staff members, as I've said, and the roads leading out from Rafah have been damaged. Some of UNRWA's own trucks are stuck in the north. We've not been able to get access to them. So we need not only more goods, more food, more medical supplies. There's only, we're estimating a quarter of the diapers needed for kids. And mind you, there are 50,000 pregnant women in Gaza right now, 180 giving birth a day. We just don't have enough supplies to help this population in the way that any single human being on earth deserves.
Okay. Mara Cronenfeld, Executive Director of UNRWA USA National Committee, thank you very much for joining us on BBC News.
Thank you.